I'm doing this one to sort of emphasize, I suppose, um, how words, right? Words, letters and numbers are energy that relate to the cross indexing of what's held in water banks, blood bank memories of experiences that we've all had that relate directly to what? Trauma. And that trauma is a trauma of a living central nervous system between two poles that aren't experiencing perfect balance. So I'm going to share a good example because I just experienced it. There's a channel that I subscribe to because I love what this guy does. He's a hobo, right? And he's got quite a substantial following that's sending him all kinds of stuff all the time. He must have a huge souvenir collection by now. So he's become a celebrity. And I believe his home turf, you know how that goes. His base station, if you will, was in Tennessee. I think not far from Knoxville, as I remember it. But he rides trains all over the place. Okay, so he just got out of he was just in New York City. Okay, where he was in the hospital because of some virus, a virus in a computer that was compromising his immune system. So I had put up there, how chromosome 21, now we're back to 3 and 7, 21, the relationship between acid and alkaline, because he's been dealing with the problems, particularly with his gut, for a long time. And so you can tell by virtue of what he shows people that he puts into his computer, right? And now you're into metabolism. Now you're into torque speed and the speed of your magnet to get rid of what? Waste product, what we're exposed to. And so he's now up in Alaska. Beautiful place, right? If you love nature, right? Your projection screen. So I'm thinking, okay, you're up there in April. So he was walking through this tunnel that had a big culvert, right? It was basically a culvert tunnel with some water in it. And then he came up and said, well, now I'm getting into the worst parts. Bang. Worse. The worst parts. Okay. Right away, as soon as he says that word, it triggers worse. Now, when I was a little boy, I ran into nature because it's wild, right? And there are a lot of other reasons why that is. The frequencies are higher. There's more things that are thriving out there. And the biggest reason has to do with electrical population density consciousness. That's why they herd people into cities. Now we're into resistors and capacitors and four-way tetrahedrons. How much light you're running on, right? The fire, electrified sound keeps the bulb lit. So in the word worse, you can measure this across a motherboard. All the folks that heard and experienced that word, what the magnetic reaction state was within their central nervous system, what they experienced when he says that word. Because worse can be directly tied to another word, risk, trauma, risk of trauma. Okay? Now we're in the perception of trauma. Now we're in the perception of risk. Yet to heal. Because love is the absence of fear. Love is the absence of risk. So when you put this through the context of being a Star Trek navigator, navigating through a consciousness field, or if you will, being fearless. And the reason that you're fearless is because you can map read the mathematical terrain, which is the template terrain of consciousness, and the way that energy works in creation spheres. Okay? So when you're on fire and you're in perfect balance, being androgynous, then everything naturally resonates in that field because you're a self-generating power station with your consciousness to maintain what you're aware of, navigating through that field in a physical way, experiencing what love is, and everything that is in nature is experiencing what you are. That changes the waveform harmonic radiation of what you experience in that reality stream. That's direct manipulation of the environment that you're going to experience, which means you're going to walk through nature in that way, and everything's going to be just fine. Because you have a living spiritual relationship with the great living spirit of Mother Earth and everything that is in nature. Words, word wars, language wars, math wars, frequency wars, genetic seeded race wars of consciousness between fallen consciousness and higher consciousness, right? That's yet to heal. That's what it is. And you can tell how. Chronic disease, which is a chronic state of mind that is experiencing what? Central nervous system disorders. Disorder, disharmony. The central nervous system is not in harmony. That means that all the elements are not in harmony. So that would be earth, wind, water, and fire. All the molecules, all the elementals are not doing a dance in the spirit of love and joy. To balance that central nervous system. Neurons, chemical messengers. Have a great day. I love you all. His name is, it's a fascinating channel though. Hobo Shoestring. That's his moniker, his icon. It's fun to watch what he does. You know, it's like I'm there. I'm there in Alaska with you, in spirit form, right? See, I'm already there. I'm right there. Have a great day. Be good to yourselves.